Software Developer Talk. The day before yesterday, I had a client and I got pretty discouraged pretty quickly. And this is the story of that. I was building a web form, and it was in two parts because it had a form that was kind of pretty standard, but also had this multi-select other table that had to be filled in. So it was kind of like you have to add items to a list while looking at the other list. Anyway, so it's a little more complex than normal, but not that bad. I built the thing and I tried to make it as simple as possible. It took me a few days to do, as these things do. And I showed it to the client, and the client was like, she felt that it was too complex. It didn't make sense to her or something like that. And that's all she said in email. And I was, my heart sank. And I have pride in my work, and I was really trying to make it simple. And I thought, okay, well, I need to talk to her, see what this is about. So I got her on the phone. We had chit chat, and then we finally got to the form, and she started to describe to me what she felt was wrong with the form. And it was pretty simple. One, there was an order ID. And she's like, why is that there? And I'm like, well, I was just debugging, and I just didn't want to, I wanted to make sure that the two sections of this form aligned so that so that I could just see visually that everything made sense. And I said, that doesn't need to be there. She goes, oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to take it out anyway. Okay. She's like, oh, okay. Also, it just seems sort of claustrophobic. I'm like, well, okay. Yeah, I could put more white space on the form. It is pretty, I wanted to make this a pop out. So I was trying to make it pretty tight, not have a whole lot of real estate. But yeah, I can add some more white space. And then there is this other part of the form when you add items, and that's the multi-select thing. You can edit those items, and you can change what item it is completely. And she said, that's too complicated. Just make it so the user just adds one, and if they want to change it, they have to delete it and add a new one. That's much simpler. And so that's fine. I took out that functionality and made that. And after all of this, she was much happier with it. I made those changes. It took me 4 hours to make the changes that she wanted. There was also a bug in a particular browser. It wouldn't work. You would go to add an item and it wouldn't happen, and it was a stupid thing that I did. Anyway, I fixed that as well. And she's much happier. Now the form seems simple to her. We changed some of the wording on some of the fields, and some of the error messages now say something that makes more sense to her. And now she's happy. And really, that was just a conversation. So that sinking feeling, like sometimes you're not doing the right thing, very often conversation just solves it. It's not always the end of the world. And people like to be involved in these things, even if they're not a developer themselves. So there should be some encouragement, I think.